What up, guys? Just going on a barefoot walk in nature. I just wanted to do a little walk and talk with you guys. Like I said, barefoot in nature. Hope y'all are doing well. You know, I feel like in today's society, not a lot of people spend enough time in nature. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people are deficient in vitamin D. A lot of people don't even know how to walk across these rocks like I'm doing right now. I don't know if this is a good angle or not. I have the camera flipped around so I can't see it right now, but I'm trying to show you guys that I'm just walking across these rocks barefoot. And not everyone even has that ability anymore these days. A lot of people these days can barely use their feet. And that's one of the reasons why we're doing this training, is because I'm not trying to be like everyone else. You know, just lifting heavy at the gym. You know, I don't even have a gym membership right now. I used to have one, but and my physique isn't that bad either. I'm definitely trying to improve it. You know, I'm always trying to get better. But for someone that doesn't have a gym membership, I'll show you guys what I look like right now. I'm struggling with health issues too. So for someone that does not have a gym membership, and for someone that has Lyme's disease and Crohn's disease and potentially other diseases, I still got to get more tests done, but my doctor is pretty sure I have Lyme's and believes I have Crohn's as well. So I'm dealing with a lot of health issues right now, and I don't have a gym membership, but I still have a decent physique. And, you know, that's the thing, is for me, it's always been about health, you know, and I've done some crazy things in the name of health, but it's made me realize over the years that it's not about doing anything crazy. It's about balance. It's about relaxation. You know what I'm saying? It's about connecting with nature. It's about connecting with loved ones. It's about getting enough rest, you know? And I think that's one of the problems that we have in today's society is hustle culture. Everyone's trying to outwork everyone else. And I don't think life is supposed to be that way. In life, we're actually meant to cooperate with one another to build heaven on earth. You see, the thing is, everyone has their own unique gift. So there's no need to compete with your fellow brother and sister, because they're never going to be a better you than you, and you're never going to be a better them than them. That's why we need one another. And that's why people love having friends so much, because each one of your friends brings something unique to the table, and it creates a good energy when people come together. So that's why we shouldn't be competing with one another as people. And that's one of the problems with today's society, in my opinion, is everyone's competing for money, and it's evil. A lot of it. Like, a lot of people are scamming one another for money. A lot of police officers aren't protecting their citizens. They're taking advantage of their citizens, giving them, you know, traffic tickets even if they were driving perfect. You know, making people do drug tests and giving innocent people DUIs. And a lot of police officers are ruining people's lives, you know, for the next paycheck. A lot of the government is stealing our money for the next paycheck. There's medical monopolies. The pharmaceutical industry in America, it's made for money. It's made for profit. It's not made for human health. So they're killing innocent people with things like chemotherapy, and then they make actual medicinal herbs like cannabis, like magic mushrooms, like opium and kratom. They try to put regulations on things, and they try to make things illegal because they want an illegal monopoly. They'd rather sell you something like Tylenol if you're in pain than just let you grow your own opium at home and make opium tea. Or, you know, maybe you concentrate it. Maybe you're a chemist and you know how to make really good pills that are really powerful, you know? That's different alchemy. We're supposed to be able to use these natural herbs and do alchemy with them, like make Rick Simpson oil, which is kind of like an oil from, yeah, I'm gonna be quiet here because I kind of have like different people around me right now. So 1 second. There's just like people near me. I don't want to be rude and talk super loud in front of them, but it's all right. I'll just continue the video. But yeah, guys, we're supposed to be able to make different medicine with herbs at home. You know, things like cannabis oil can naturally cure cancer. You can use opium to make pain medicine. Even some of the more concentrated versions can still have benefit, because some people are in extreme pain. And some things work really good as antidepressants, like opium works as a good antidepressant. Magic mushrooms can work as a good antidepressant. So they're making natural herbs illegal. And even if it's unnatural, it doesn't matter. We have the right to be our own chemist. We have the right to do our own alchemy. And if we could have our own stuff tested in third-party labs, like LSD has saved certain people's lives. A lot of people, they trip on LSD and if they are able to see things from a new perspective, that's able to help them improve the quality of their life, you know. Things like, even things like Oxycontin or heroin, or things that have like a bad rap actually help a lot of people. There's people that might be in pain, or maybe antidepressants don't work for the person, but they feel good on opium, you know. Maybe antidepressants don't work for the person, but mushrooms do. So a lot of these so-called things that are called drugs, not every drug user is like a junkie. Some people actually benefit from the use of drugs. Some of the fittest, healthiest people on earth actually use these natural herbs to help their performance. And that's the thing, is they've brainwashed us because it's not actually a drug. Like, for example, Tylenol, you take like too much Tylenol and it can give you liver failure and kill you. Literally, I'm not joking. But opium can actually be a lot safer for people because it's way better at reducing pain for a lot of people, and you don't have to take as much of it. And it's a natural herb that grows out of the ground. And things like opium and mushrooms and cannabis can actually increase your health if used correctly. And so they call it a drug, but really it's a natural herb. And yet they call the Tylenol that they sell you the Dayquil, the NyQuil, a lot of that crap, all it does is make you feel like shit, and it kills you, and it has barely any medicinal benefit. But they call that medicine. See, guys, they're trying to brainwash us for profit. They're trying to brainwash us for a monopoly. And that's the problem with today's society, is that everywhere you go, they're trying to take your money, and they're making laws and regulations so we can't take care of ourselves, so that we can't do what we need to do on our own. You can't just, in some places in America, you can't just grow your own weed and make your own medicine. You can't just grow your own opium and make your own medicine. You can't just legally grow your own mushrooms and make your own medicine. So they're trying to take basic things that freedoms that we should have, that we should be able to do on our own, and they're taking them away from us. And it's not just medicine, it's many things, like the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms. We have the right to bear arms because a lot of police officers, you know, they take advantage of innocent people during traffic stops and everything. And they're like, oh, do you have a gun on you? Like, oh, and that's not registered. But the thing is, the Second Amendment gives us the right to defend ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So it's like all these rules and regulations for many, many, many different things, you know, are there to keep people from being free. And that's what they don't want you to realize, is that in a lot of ways, and I'm not saying in every way, you know, there's positives and there's negatives. I'm not saying it's all negative. Obviously, there's amazing things about modern day technology. You know, the fact that I can even record this video and upload it is a miracle. So I'm not saying everything about modern day is bad. I'm not saying the system is designed to destroy you completely. There might be some good things about the system, but you have to understand that not everyone on this planet has... I almost fell in the water. Not everyone on this planet might have completely pure intentions. Some of these corporations out here are just trying to steal your money. Some of these police officers are just trying to steal your money. Some of these corporations, they don't care about the consumer. And that's one of the problems with today's society, is a lot of people are very greedy. And so that makes it difficult for some people to just spend as much time in nature as they want, because maybe some people are working 80, 100 hours or more a week just to pay the rent, just to keep the lights on, because, you know, their boss might not be paying them enough, and everywhere they turn, they're spending money on a new scam. You know, they're buying some new thing that they don't need. So one thing that you can do to help free yourself is to understand the difference between what you need and what you don't need. Because if you can stop buying scams, then you can save more money for yourself. And it's not just about actually buying the scam itself, but it's about buying into someone's scam, because even that can cost you time and money. You know, there's a lot of people out here that are trying to scam one another. And so you need to make sure that you have your eyes open and that you can see what's going on. And what are some things that can help with that? Well, in my opinion, one of the best things you can do is ask God, you know, for discernment, because there is a higher power. And I'm not saying it's based on any specific religion, but I'm saying there is a higher power that's all loving and all knowing and that wants you to succeed. And you can tap into that higher power at any time for guidance if you need to. And that's something that a lot of people don't do. A lot of people are disconnected from their higher self. And I'm not saying I'm completely connected to my higher self, but we all are deep down inside. We all have this instinct within us to try to want to become our greatest version. And a lot of people get sidetracked from that because a lot of people in today's society lie to you about different things for their own agenda. Maybe a fitness influencer lies to you about what the best food is to eat because they were tricked by someone else and they just want to sell their ebook. And maybe deep down inside they want to try different foods, but they feel like they're stuck to their keto or vegan or carnivore. And they might think they're doing the right thing, but really they're just pushing an agenda. Because everyone lives in different climate, and different foods, I think, are good for different situations. So there is no one way of eating that fits everyone. You have your own unique genetics, and you got to find a lifestyle that works for you. Now, one rule that I think helps is to cut out meat. I think meat can be very not good spiritually for many different reasons, because you're eating the flesh of another animal. So I think vegetarianism is good. But other than that, I think what you eat varies on your activity level, your goals, and everything. I don't think there is one way of eating that fits everyone. And so people will try to get you, like fitness influencers will try to get you, you know, a dating coach might give you bad information that might not work for you. Just so many different people trying to take advantage of you. And so there's so many different scams that people fall for on a day-to-day basis, you know, and the food that you're eating, that you're trying to build your body up nice and healthy, but the food you're eating might have different ingredients in it that are harming your body that you don't even know about. It might say all natural on the label. It might say low fat on the label. But then you turn the back of the ingredients and it's like, damn, like, what is this? This is not what it's supposed to be. So if you want to, in my opinion, survive in today's society, you need to be able to use discernment to see who's really there for you and who's not. You got to understand, is the food company you're buying for, are they really there for you? Is your fitness coach really there for you, or is he just trying to sell his agenda? Maybe you're better off without a fitness coach. Maybe you're better off with a coach. You know, if you want coaching from me, shoot me a DM. Hit me up on Instagram, comment on YouTube. Maybe you're better off without a doctor. Maybe you need a doctor. It depends on if you have the right person in your life. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of doctors, maybe they're not listening to what your true symptoms are, and they're just trying to prescribe you a medication that might not work for you. And so you got to use discernment. Is my doctor saying the right thing or not? You know, when I was younger and I was concerned about my height, my doctor told me there's nothing you can do about it. That's bullshit. When you're a kid, you can do a lot about your height. Different exercises can help you grow taller, like pull-ups and running can increase growth hormone. Getting enough rest can help you grow taller. Eating the right foods can help you grow taller. And so, you know, you're a young kid. You might ask your doctor a question. They might say something like, you can't control your height, and that might crush your hopes and dreams, but that's not true. There's so many things you can do about your growth. There's so many different things you can do about, you know, A bodybuilder might tell you, oh, it's just calories in, calories out. That's bullshit. There's different vitamins. There's different minerals. A green juice might not have as many calories as a McDonald's cheeseburger, but it might have more vitamins. It might have more phytonutrients. It might have more hydration. Let's say you're juicing cucumbers and kale. It might have more chlorophyll, magnesium. These different things that it might have, that even though it's not just calories in, calories out. So your fitness coach might be lying to you just to sell a course. Your doctor might be lying to you just because he thinks he knows everything because he went to school. Your parents might be lying to you. Your girlfriend might be lying to you, you know? Is your girlfriend really a loyal, committed woman that she says she is? Or is she fucking someone behind your back, you know? I'm not saying every woman's a cheater. What I'm saying is there might be loyal and honest women, and there might be women that are liars and cheaters. And you have to use discernment. You can't always just trust what a woman's telling you at face value unless she is trustworthy. And if she is, be grateful for that, because that's a blessing, you know? And don't get fooled by Instagram. You know, you might be in a long-term committed relationship of like 5 years, and you might have all these girls hitting you up on Instagram. This is what happened to me, because I post pictures of my body. I'm not saying I'm the rippedest guy on Instagram. I actually have a lot of health issues right now. But I guess I have abs. I look kind of shredded. So I'd post pictures of my body, and I'd have all these girls hitting me up while I had an amazing girlfriend. And it made me wonder, what if these options are better? And then the minute I break up with my girlfriend, those girls had boyfriends, they had husbands, they were just using me as a backup option, and they weren't even really there for me. So you might have all these girls hitting you up on Instagram, or all these guys hitting you up on Instagram, and you might think, oh, maybe I should break up with my girlfriend or boyfriend, but you might have a great girlfriend. You might have a great boyfriend, so don't fall for Instagram. Don't fall for Instagram. You might have a great job, and you see someone on Instagram saying, oh, fuck your 9 to 5, join my business opportunity, and it's a scam. It could literally be a scam. They might not be making as much money as you are. So if you have a good job, be grateful. If you have a good woman, be grateful. Don't let Instagram fool you. A lot of people are faking the funk. A lot of people are in debt, and they're living these absorbent lifestyles. But in reality, it could be killing them. They might be stressed out from all the debt. They might be stressed out trying to sell the next course. I'm not saying being a social media influencer is impossible. If that's your dream, you know, maybe you can make it work. But I'm just saying a lot of these people are fakes. So even if you are trying to be a social media influencer, if you just make one sale and you're still working a 9 to 5, don't get your head down. Be happy that you made that one sale. You don't know if your influencer is legit or if they're just living off of their parents' money. Trust me, I've met people before that put on a front like, oh, I'm this high value woman. And then I would overhear a conversation and they're living off of an inheritance. They don't really know how to make money like that. And you look at their Instagram and they're traveling everywhere and they seem like they're living this exorbitant lifestyle. And you're wondering, how did they do that? And you compare yourself to them. Your parents might have abused you growing up. So even just comparing yourself to that other person can give you a mental illness, because you don't realize what you've been through and how far you've come and how proud of yourself you should be. Your life might be falling apart, but that doesn't mean you can't be proud of yourself, because God woke you up today, and that means you're here for a reason, and you should be proud of yourself because you made it another day. That's what matters. You know, and we should value human life in today's society over everything else. Just the fact that we're alive and breathing means something. You know, money is amazing. It can buy you safety and security, but it doesn't matter how much money is in your bank account. Your physique is amazing. It can attract different partners. It doesn't matter what your physique looks like, though. You know, everything on this earthly plane is meant to be experienced and enjoyed, and it's all amazing. But what really matters is your heart and soul, and the fact that you woke up another day. You have value. Even if you're a failure by society standards, you have value. And that's what they don't tell you, is that everyone has value no matter what their achievement is. And the elites don't want you to know that. They want you to think that you have to slave and work your life away just to have value and meaning. You don't. Food just grows out of the earth naturally. we could create the Garden of Eden. We could create heaven on earth, and we would barely have to work. If we learned basic skills like permaculture, we could feed everyone without even having to rely on the system. We could have food just growing everywhere. If we separated from the medical monopoly, we could heal ourselves with our own medicine. I'm not saying modern medicine isn't great, but like, modern medicine's amazing. You can take cannabis and make Rick Simpson oil out of it and cure cancer. Instead of just blending up the plant raw, you can extract it, you can decarboxylate it, you can take opium and you can make instead of just eating it, the raw sap, you can make a pill that can treat pain a lot better. You can make a fentanyl patch, you can make Oxycontin, you can make these different things. Oh, I know opioids are super stigmatized, but they're extremely medicinal for some people. It's just like everything else, mushrooms and cannabis. The U-opioid receptor has a lot of potential benefits that haven't even been studied yet. I was looking into it, and it can speed up wound healing and everything. So even things like morphine and heroin, those things can actually be medicinal. That's what the elites don't want you to know. They just want to sell you shitty ass Tylenol, which does nothing but kill your liver, you know? I mean, maybe Tylenol has some benefits, but it can be extremely dangerous. I think opioids are less dangerous than Tylenol. I really do. And I think that's why opioids are illegal, because the pharmaceuticals want power and control. They don't want you to be able to grow your own opium. They want an illegal monopoly on everything, and it's sickening. We should be able to grow our own opium, our own mushrooms, our own cannabis. We should be able to make our own medicines and heal ourselves. Yeah, if we learned basic skills like how to do permaculture, how to make our own medicine, how to build our own shelter, all that stuff, you know, how to generate our own electricity, you could live free from the system, and you could do so much more with so much less. And that's what the elites don't, they're not even elite. They're more like leech parasitic scum. Because what they do is they scam people. They overcharge people for things. They make certain things illegal, and they make certain regulations. I'm not saying the system as a whole is fucked. There's some great things. Like, I'm grateful for internet. I'm grateful for the system. But what I'm saying is there's groups of people in the system that take advantage of our ignorance. They sell us poisonous food that's destroying the environment. They sell us shitty medicine that's nowhere near as effective as things like cannabis or kratom or opium, things that naturally grow out of the ground. They try to sell us shitty things like Dayquil and NyQuil, just shitty shit that's just not that good, that has a bunch of unnecessary additives to it that destroy your liver, when you could just make pure opium tincture at home and you'd actually feel good off of that. You take a Tylenol, it doesn't even help. A lot of adults have serious injuries and serious pain. Making pain medicine illegal is a crime on humanity. People don't realize how much a lot of the rich people purposefully abuse their power to create economic issues for people almost on purpose, because they want more power. And it's sickening, because what they don't realize is that karma's real, and you're not going to get out unscathed. If you're hurting your fellow civilians, it's going to affect you too. You know what I mean? It's going to affect your life too. Karma is real. And if you're hurting the collective just to try to scam people for extra money, it's going to affect you too. And that's going on at a very high level in a lot of ways. Trump just made being homeless illegal. You know, they say land of the free and home of the brave. They can arrest you just for living in your van. What if someone wants to just live in their van? What's wrong with that? You shouldn't have to pay rent. Our forefathers fought and died for the Constitution. You should not have to pay rent. Our forefathers literally fought and died for the Constitution. And so that's the thing, is like, America is supposed to be a free country, but because we don't know certain skills, there's certain people that take advantage of our ignorance as a collective. And so in my opinion, as a collective, we have to educate ourselves on basic skills so we can take back some of our power, so we can take back some of our control, so we can take back some of our sovereignty. We have to educate ourselves on our constitutional rights, so our government can't keep taking them away with certain things like unlawful police traffic stops where they lie about how fast you're going and then they illegally search your car. We need to educate ourselves on permaculture so the food companies can't stop taking away our right to eat clean food and poisoning us. We need to learn about medicine and herbology, things like opium and cannabis and psychedelics. That way, we need to make the pharmaceutical industry, what we need good health care, but we need to legalize all drugs, because once you allow the government to make certain drugs illegal, it's a slippery slope. Now they can control what you're allowed to take or not for medicine. Like, oh, you can't take cannabis, that's bad, take this chemotherapy instead. In countries like, I think it's Portugal, where all drugs are legalized, they actually have a lower criminalization because they have better health care. So it actually makes the war on drugs actually makes the criminalization worse, because it makes healthcare worse, because now we don't have as much freedom to study different things. You know, the government might make something illegal that's actually good for us, like cannabis or kratom or opium or magic mushrooms, things that are actually can heal the brain and heal the body. And now because they're illegal, it's harder to study them. It's harder to make medicine with it. And in countries like Portugal, where all drugs are legalized, they have better health care. They have less drug abuse problems. So we need to legalize everything, and we need to learn how to use our own herbs, and we need to have everything legalized. That way people aren't afraid to experiment and see what actually works. You know, the opioid receptors can do certain things like speed wound healing. We need to be free to study that. We need to be free to put whatever in our body needs for healing. And yeah, we need to learn skills like permaculture. We need to learn skills like how to make different medicines. We need to learn skills like how to connect with one another and how to build healthy relationships. That's the thing, is a lot of people in today's society, they don't understand how to build healthy relationships. They don't understand the importance of honesty. They don't understand the importance of integrity. They don't understand the importance of loyalty and building healthy communities. Because that's the problem, is if we all treat each other like shit, like, oh, the husband's beating his wife again, we got to call the cops. Now you got to rely on the government to take care of you because we're not taking care of each other. And that's the whole point of America, or whatever country you're in. That's the whole point of freedom and sovereignty, is the people are supposed to be more powerful than the government. So that way we can stand up to tyranny. But how are you going to be more powerful than the government if you don't work together as a people? If we don't work together as a people, we're not going to be able to stand up to tyranny, and the government can take away more of our freedoms. But if we stick together as a people and we work together, despite our differences, it shouldn't matter if you're gay, it shouldn't matter if you're straight, it shouldn't matter if you're red, purple, blue, green, brown. We are all one human race. We're all brothers and sisters. So we need to put our differences aside. You know, I used to be that guy that would judge gay people. You know, I used to be that guy that was judgmental, but I'm not that way anymore, because I realized it's wrong. It's evil. There's people fighting wars and killing each other over petty differences, and that's sad. If your God believes that, if your religious book is telling you to kill another religion, then that's not God, that's Satan, and your religion is satanic. And that's why I'm non-religious, but I believe in God. I believe in a higher power, because there is a higher intuition that wants us all to create heaven on earth. There is a higher power that wants us all to make the Garden of Eden, but you're not going to find it in a book. You're not going to find it in a church. A lot of those churches are evil and they're satanic, and it's a scam designed to collect your money. It's a scam designed to collect your money and all of that. They want you to worship the church, but you're not supposed to worship the church. You're supposed to worship God first. You're supposed to put love first. And that's why I'm not religious, because a lot of people use religion as an excuse to have war. A lot of people use religion as an excuse to kill one another, and God doesn't want us to do that. We're supposed to be at peace. We're supposed to be loving one another. We're supposed to be taking care of one another. We're all brothers and sisters on this planet. It doesn't matter if you're black or white. A black and a white person can have a beautiful child together, because the only reason why your skin's darker is because you're getting sunlight. Then the body naturally creates melanin, which makes you darker. It has nothing to do with race. We're all one human race. Race is a myth, guys. We're all one human race. And so we're all supposed to be working together as brothers and sisters to create heaven on earth. And so if we can't work together and get along with one another, then it gives the government more power than it should have, because we're all supposed to be working to one another. We shouldn't even need a government at all, guys. We shouldn't even need a government at all. That was one of the purposes of America, was the states were supposed to have more power than the federal government. The whole point of America was to stand up to tyranny. The whole point of the Constitution is to give us unalienable rights. And so, as a society, we should be efficient enough to not have to rely on these evil corporations that are taking advantage of us for money. We shouldn't be reliant on the FDA. We shouldn't be reliant on a system that's killing people. A lot of people go in the hospital and they die in there due to chemotherapy, due to all the poisonous food, due to all the junk food. We shouldn't have to rely on a system that's killing innocent people. We should have systems in place that are healing people. We should have systems in place that are helping people. We should have systems in place that are more efficient. We should have systems in place to where people can work a reasonable amount and still live an amazing life. You shouldn't have to overwork yourself. You shouldn't have to kill yourself. You shouldn't have to drain yourself to live an amazing life. That's because a lot of these evil corporations are taking advantage of people. And that's why some people don't have time to do anything, because they're getting scammed by their doctor. They're getting scammed by the food they're buying is poisoning them. They're getting scammed by their landlord. They're getting scammed all around. And they're getting scammed by their boss. And so by the end of it, they don't have enough time or money to do anything. And you can't blame the victim. Like, oh, just work harder. It's not the victim's fault. It's the perpetrator's fault. And so we need to figure out who the perpetrators are and correctly eliminate them from our lives. And I believe if we all do this, and this is what I'm trying to do. This is what I'm trying to do. This is what I've been working on. You know, I think I'm doing a good job at it too. I think I've honestly eliminated pretty much everything in my life that's been like scamming me and holding me down. I really do think I'm starting to get to that point. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I've made a lot of mistakes. That's why I'm able to come on camera and say these things, because I've been through it. I've been taken advantage of. I've been scammed. I've been lied to. I've been, you know, cheated on. I don't know if my girlfriend had full-blown sex, but she was talking about sexual things with another guy on Instagram. You know, I've experienced it all. I've been in the hospital multiple times. I still have diseases that I'm trying to heal to this day. And so I'm speaking from experience. I've been fucked over by a lot of people and a lot of companies, unfortunately. And it's got me to a point where I got pissed off. And I kept saying to myself, like, I just knew in my heart I didn't want this to happen again. And so I'm getting to a point in my life where evil sickens me, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes to stand up to evil. And I think as a society, we all need to get to this point for us to succeed. Because if people keep letting evil win, then our grandchildren might not have a good future to live in. And so we're not just doing it for ourselves, we're doing it for the future as well. And even if you don't have children, you know, I want to live forever. You know, one thing that all these religions say is you can have eternal life. And I really do believe that's possible. You know, believe it or not, there's jellyfish in the ocean that have the capacity to live forever. And so I believe as human beings, we can regenerate our bodies and we can regenerate our DNA. And so even if you're not having children, if a tree can live to 1,000 years, why can't a human? If the sun can live forever, why can't a human? And so I'm trying to be here as long as possible. I'm trying to be here forever if I can. And I want the future to keep getting better and better over time. I want the food to get better every year. I want the medicine to get better every year. I want humans to really evolve. But how are we going to evolve as a species if we keep letting our oppressors kick us in the ass? And so in my opinion, one of the important steps in human evolution is to realize who's oppressing us and who's scamming us and make sure we do everything in our power to not let it happen. And it doesn't matter if they wear a badge and they seem like they wear a badge to make it look like they're doing the right thing. Like some police officers are oppressing innocent people. Some of our government officials, like Donald Trump, was just trying to make a law to make homeless people get arrested. He's oppressing innocent people. It doesn't matter how high up someone in society is. We should not be afraid to stand up to tyranny, because in my opinion, that's what's going to keep society great, is if people are willing to actually stand up to tyranny, and if people are actually willing to do the right thing no matter what. It shouldn't matter how high up in society someone is. If someone's doing the wrong thing, they should be able to be punished for it. They should be able to be taken away from their position and taken away from their power just like that. If the president's trying to set a law that goes against our will and our rights, the Constitution should override that. And even, it's not even just about the Constitution. Just, we have basic human rights based on the laws of nature that go even beyond the Constitution, that no one should be able to take away. Not a president, not a police officer, no one. And that's what the Second Amendment was about, the right to bear arms. We have a right in America to stand up to tyranny and to defend ourselves by any means necessary. And so, you know, there's many different ways of doing that. It's not just about the right to bear arms and carrying a weapon and like shooting someone. That's one way to defend yourself. If someone's trying to attack you and maybe threatening your life, you know, you might have to defend yourself, unfortunately. And I hope no one's ever in that position where they have to use lethal force to defend themselves, because that's a terrible position to be in. But there's other peaceful things we can do to defend ourselves in other ways as well. Like, are we letting the food companies poison us, or are we learning permaculture and growing our own food for a good price? Are we letting the pharmaceutical industry kill us, or are we legalizing drugs and making our own medicine with natural plants that grow from the earth? Even if you are using chemistry, that's okay too. That's why we need to legalize all drugs, because certain even synthesized chemicals like LSD have shown a lot of healing potential for things like depression and all sorts of things. And it's the individual's responsibility to take care of their body. You can't just make everything illegal because it might be dangerous. That's a slippery slope. Because a lot of what they sell over the counter, like Tylenol, is very dangerous. And even something like opium might not even be as dangerous. But the thing is, any amount of untreated pain can slow down healing time. There's studies that show that. So we need to legalize all drugs. That way people have access to whatever they need to treat their symptoms. And we need to become free. You know, make America free again. That's my dream, is for America to be truly free again. And I think for that to happen, we all need to realize that there are certain people, even people that are very high up, that don't have our best interest in mind. And we need to stand up for ourselves and make sure that we do things the right way, no matter what. So I hope this helps. Thanks for tuning in. I love you guys. I just wanted to make a video out in nature. I think it's beautiful outside right now. And yeah, I just wanted to make a video out in nature. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for tuning in. This was a longer video. I haven't made a video this long. I don't know if I've made a video this long the entire history of the channel, but we're going to upload it and see how it does. So I love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Let me know what you guys think. Comment below. Let me know what you guys want to see more of. If you stuck around for the whole thing, you're a legend. I love you. And until next one, I'm out. Love and peace.